Hello again, beautiful beings. I want to personally welcome all of the star seeds that are joining me on this journey that we are about to adventure into. I have so much information to say to everyone today, and I don't even know where to begin. I mean, I have a lot written down because I had to meditate on it. But yeah, hold on. I've got my window up on my other computer. Okay, there we go. That's better. Okay, so very interesting times. I had a huge download with a beautiful channeler friend of mine, and she's not only just a Lemurian starseed, but she's a Palladian starseed. And so we had this incredible conversation on Saturday about what's really going on, what's happening. We uncovered and just broke through so many walls. And so I'm going to present a lot of that information to you today. And ever since I did that huge breakthrough and channeling on Saturday about ancient Atlantis and ancient Lemuria, I've had multiple, probably about 10 different confirmations that this is what people need right now. So if you've never even heard of Atlantis or Lemuria, that's okay. You're here for a reason and you're in for a really big treat today, okay? My intention for all of you, my intention for this video is to activate you. That is why I recommend that the first time watching this, especially watching this live, that you don't write any notes, okay? Put your notebooks away. This is going to be a soul activation. Some of you will not feel anything from this video, and that's okay. Maybe this video just wasn't meant for you, but I also believe that you're watching this for a reason as well, okay? Some of you are going to feel extreme activations from this video, chills in your body. Some of you may feel like crying throughout the video. Some of you may feel angry throughout the video. That's okay. And it's because I'm speaking directly to you, okay? Now, I just want to start with, I've had maybe one lifetime in Atlantis, but I have also been channeling Atlantean and Lemurian starseed past lifetimes for all of my clients in the past 10 years. I also astral travel and remote view back to that time period to understand what really happened. I also want to preface with the fact that everything that you will hear in this video is directly channeled, okay? I have never read a book on Atlantis. I have never watched a documentary. I don't know what other channelers are saying. And the last thing that I want to kind of preface with and start with is I'm not going to answer the questions that you have the most about this. And thank you, Edward, for that beautiful super chat. Okay, I'm not going to answer your most pressing questions. One being, where is ancient Atlantis? And two being, how did ancient Atlantis fall? Okay, I'm not going to answer those questions because they are completely irrelevant to what I'm about to give you today. And if that's what you're here for, then maybe it's a good time to back out right now. Okay, I just want to say that. Okay. Once again, my intention for this video and for all of you is to activate, to heal, and to clear some ancient traumas that have been within you that have been preventing you from moving forward today. Activation, activation, activation. Before we deep dive into all of this information, I do want to say, okay, first of all, just on my own personal business before we really get heavy, one is I have a huge merchandise sale going on right now, 50% off of everything, and I think my t-shirts are only $25 to begin with, so 50% off of that is pretty amazing. If you are ever interested in getting my meditation crystal set, my tank top, or my t-shirt, which a lot of you have received and have bought, that's 50% off. And timeline-wise, I think it's going on for maybe a week, okay? So please be aware of that. My assistant will put the links below. Second thing is, I spent about 10 years channeling a masterclass, an online course, and I spent an entire year putting all the information together. Now I'm being very inclined and very pushed by the powers that be to get this course out there. It's called the Shift Masterclass, and it's meant to take you from the 3rd dimension frequency into the 5th dimension frequency. If you're interested in this, if this sparks in you, I'm also kind of lowering the price big time for this. Please just email me. I'm not going to go into the masterclass right now. If you're interested, if you still feel stuck, if you still feel that 3rd dimensional pull, please just email me and I'll give you all the information with no sort of expectation. Okay, that's it. That's all I'm going to say. Let's move right into it. Let's talk about the history. All right, let's just begin with the history of ancient Atlantis and ancient Lemuria. I'm not going to get into every detail and every aspect of the history of Atlantis and Lemuria because I only pinpointed the information that you need to know today to activate your soul. And a soul activation or a DNA activation basically means that there are elements of yourself that have been closed off and suppressed for a very long time. Not just this lifetime, but many, 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 many lifetimes. I want to activate the crystalline energy within you in this video to tell you it's okay to be yourself again. You know, we're entering back into this phase of Atlantis. All right, the history. Once again, just very briefly. So before Atlantis, and really just all Atlantis was a huge civilization, a huge kind of colony city, okay? Before Atlantis, there was Lemuria, ancient Lemuria. Now, Lemuria and all of the beings who were a part of Lemuria were mostly Palladian. And I'll say that probably at least 90% of the beings in Lemuria were Palladian. Once again, Lemuria is the civilization that came before ancient Atlantis, okay? So basically what happened was within the Galactic Federation, up on all of those ships, they said, who wants to volunteer to be on planet Earth? Who wants to volunteer to come here and plant seeds? And so a bunch of you, I'm talking to you guys, a bunch of you volunteered your souls to come to this planet. The individuals, okay, the starseeds, the Atlantean and Lemurian starseeds, I call them the original seed planters on this planet. You are the original volunteers who came to this planet, okay? And so I basically, from my channeling, the Lemurians and Atlanteans were about 80% DNA Palladian and about 20% DNA Neanderthal. And so we see already back then that the hybridization project of human beings already began. And this is where we get the majority of our Palladian DNA within our human combination, our human hybrid selves right now in this moment is back from ancient Lemuria and ancient Atlantis, okay? Once again, they were about 80% Palladian and 20% Neanderthal, and the reason why they needed that Neanderthal is to actually ground them and anchor them into this density, into this frequency, okay? Okay, good. So they came here, they created this beautiful civilization, ancient Lemuria. It was very rooted in the main mission of Lemuria to begin with was to help this planet, basically plant seeds on this planet to help align humanity to the prophecy, right? This prophecy of us being this master race. So the Lemurians did a lot of energy work, the Lemurians and Atlanteans did a lot of energy work. They had a lot of technology, and we'll talk a little bit about that. They worked a lot with crystals. They were the ones who originally set up the crystalline energy consciousness grid on this planet, okay? They worked with a lot of portals and vortexes. They not only just anchored in vortexes and portals, they worked with the ley lines on the planet. Like a lot of stuff. They did a lot of stuff. They basically set this planet up for success. That was the mission of the original volunteers, the original seed planters. What ended up happening, and it was really, truly a utopian society. Everyone loved one another. Everyone respected one another. There really wasn't any, one individual on top. It was a collective effort, right? And they were preparing the planet. They were preparing the planet for the prophecy. what ended up happening eventually in ancient Lemuria is that some of the Lemurians were getting very restless. And this was actually the newer generations that didn't come from ships to this planet. They were born, okay? They were born into that society of Lemuria. And they were very restless. And the reason why they were restless is because they thought that the civilization of Lemuria was too regimented, it was too controlled, it was too traditional, and it was too, like, there was too many regulations. And I'll tell you that all of the ancient Lemurian regulations were just in accordance to the Galactic Federation and, their mission of what they were supposed to do on the planet. So yeah, it was very traditional. But certain beings, these new generations, said, no, we don't want these traditions. We don't want these regulations. We want to build our own society. So what they ended up doing is not half the population, but a big majority of the population of Lemurians left, and they decided to create their own civilization. And they created ancient Atlantis, okay? They created Atlantis from Lemuria. So they took a lot of the spiritual practices, they took a lot of the technologies, they took a lot of the ancient knowledge and wisdom, but they wanted to be as free as possible. So they were free with technology, they were free with their energy healing practices, they let go of regulations, but they also separated themselves from source. They separated themselves from the whole purpose of being on this planet, which is to prepare the planet for the great awakening that was going to happen. And so Atlantis grew rapidly, like really quickly, right? They took the level of where Lemuria was and they just exploded it. They just went to the next level with it. So Atlantis, not only civilization, culturally, technologically, spiritually, they just exploded. And they became a huge powerhouse, bigger than Lemuria. And the Lemurians had a feud with the Atlanteans because they weren't respecting the practices of the ancient Palladians. And so there was a feud going, and then the Atlanteans didn't respect the Lemurians because they were traditional and old school, and they didn't think that they were growing as much as they should. So there's a bit of a feud, very interesting. Okay, and then what happened? Then, because of the divide and separation, because of the Atlanteans kind of losing their way and forgetting, the main purpose of being there, there was a couple of leaders that ended up rising the ranks and basically became corrupt. And they wanted more technology, and they wanted more advancement, and they wanted more, of whatever spiritual connection, whatever it may be. And unfortunately, they ended up kind of running Atlantis into the ground. And so there was a huge downfall of Atlantis, and it was very dramatic. I'm not going to go into what exactly happened because, to be honest, I haven't received the information of what exactly happened. I've been shown clips, but that's not relevant. It's not relevant on how Atlantis fell. And I think a lot of you are really attached to where is it and how did it fall, because you're deeply connected and also deeply traumatized by the fall of Atlantis because you were a part of the fall, right? And so we're just going to leave that. It's not relevant. What's really relevant is what happened after Atlantis. Lemuria also fell. And when I took a look at how Lemuria fell, it was more of like a fizzling out. That's kind of what happened with Lemuria. It's kind of like, I don't know, it just kind of fizzled. It wasn't as dramatic as Atlantis, right? Atlantis, the fall of Atlantis was so traumatic for so many beings. And, okay, so hold on. I'm just trying to look at my notes here. Yes, okay. So when both of these civilizations fell, where did the people go? Right? Where did these beings, where did these beautiful Palladian seed planters, where did they all go? They basically, and this I know for sure, they disseminated themselves throughout the planet. They went all over the world, right? They went to they formed different colonies all over the world. They started breeding with lower vibrational beings like the Neanderthals, or I don't know, the what are they called? The step above the Neanderthals. Okay, so they started to disseminate all over the world and create their own civilizations. A lot of the Atlanteans, a lot of the Lemurians also went underground. They went to go form inner Earth, and they helped to really build Inner Earth. So in a lot of ways, Inner Earth is a very clear mirror representation of Atlantis and Lemuria. It's really cool down there. But we're not going to get into that. Okay. The problem is that there's a lot of you out there that I believe are Lemurian and Atlantean starseeds. Okay? This basically means that your soul was one of the original volunteers on this planet. It means that you were one of the original seed planters to come here to raise the vibrational frequency. That's amazing and good for you, and I'm so happy that you're here. But also, you have been holding so much guilt within yourself for the fall of Atlantis and the dispute between Atlantis and Lemuria that you have not allowed yourself to ascend back into crystalline energy because you feel guilty that you should have done something else to prevent the fall of Atlantis. This is what I want to unlock in you today, is the trauma that was created by the fall of a civilization that was closest to consciousness, closest to source, closest to oneness that we've ever experienced on this planet. Okay. The vibration of Atlantis and the original vibration of Lemuria was crystalline energy. When Lemuria and Atlantis fell, that's when we fractaled our soul, we fractaled our bodies, and that's when we started to create the 7 chakra and 13 chakra system. Because we no longer could uphold the vibrational frequency of crystalline. This is what's happening today. We are anchoring in at the crystalline energy. You are all being prompted to remember what happened back then. You are all being prompted to forgive yourself for what happened back then. So, other than the individuals from Atlantis and Lemuria that went underground, what happened to the souls after Atlantis fell? This is what I want to talk about. This is what's going to activate you. What happened to the souls after Atlantis fell? There was a division. There was a split. Let's talk about it. Okay, this is huge. This is huge. This just huge channel came to me on Saturday. Okay, actually today, I think, in meditation. Huge division. Some of the souls from ancient Atlantis and Lemuria took the path of cosmic retirement. This is what came to me today. Okay, I call it cosmic retirement. After the fall of Atlantis and Lemuria, your soul, these souls were so disappointed, so disheartened, so depressed that this happened, that you literally left the planet and you decided that you didn't want to come back here until it was once again crystalline energy. You took cosmic retirement. Doesn't mean that you haven't been doing anything since Atlantis. It actually means that you've been an 8th dimensional Palladian and you went back to the Pallades and then maybe you took a ride in the Andromedan galaxy and this and that and whatever, okay? You've been cosmic. You took a cosmic retirement. You're like, screw that. I don't want to come back to Earth, okay? The other path that most of you, this is most of you, is the other path. The other half of you took the path of, and I had another really good name for it, human integration. Half of you took the path of cosmic retirement and you left. The other half of you took the path of human integration. You basically said to yourself, you know what? If this ship is sinking, I'm going to sink with it. I'm in it for the long haul. I'm in it to be human. I'm in it because I still have a mission here and I still need to make a change on the planet. So what you ended up doing is you reincarnated back on this planet over and over and over again. Now, with the pathway of cosmic retirement and the path of human integration, there are pros and cons to both. Now, let's talk about the pros and cons to cosmic retirement. You're like, screw this, Atlantis fell, I'm out of here. And you left the planet. And you only came back recently. Which means that, yes, you're a very old soul, but you're a very unintegrated soul. Which means that you have been struggling to be here. You've been struggling to hold down a job. You've been struggling to understand the whole purpose of life on this planet. You've been struggling to be human. You've been struggling in your body. You're the odd one. You're the quirky one. And I'm not talking just like, I feel weird. I'm talking like you have a shaved head and piercings and tattoos and you're like, fuck it, I'm going to be different, right? That's the cosmic ones, right? You're an alien on this planet, literally. Now, all the individuals, which is most of you, who took the path of human integration. I took the path of human integration, right? I can go as far as I want to go, but I can come back here and laugh and eat a bunch of food and be very human. For those of you who took the path of human integration, it's very easy for you to be here because you know how to play this game. You know how to play the game of being human. So, oh, cool, I'll wear this hat. Okay, cool, I'll dabble with the dark. I'll dabble with the light. I'll dabble with the divine masculine. I'll dabble with the divine feminine, right? It's easy for you to be a human, but you still find yourself really depressed. You still find yourself really anxious. And the reason why is because you know something is up. So you've forgotten something. You know something is amiss, and you don't know what that is. And maybe you continue to fill voids because you continue to feel that something is missing, right? It's easy for you to fit in and be human. It's easy for me to fit in and be human. I don't feel human, but I can do it easily, right? That's the path of human integration. Most of you are going to have children that are Atlantean and Lemurian Starseed children. They were one of the original seed planters. They left the planet altogether, and they took the path of cosmic retirement. Now they're coming back, and they're like, great, finally, I can come back here. The reason why all of the human integration Lemurian and Atlantean starseeds need to wake up right now is because the exact same thing that happened to Atlantis is happening right now. Now, when I asked the guides, I was talking to the Pleiadians today, when I asked them about how many starseeds are currently on this planet, they told me that there was currently about 400,000 ancient Lemurian and ancient Atlantean starseeds. Now, maybe you have no idea what ancient Atlantis and Lemuria is, but maybe you really resonate with Pleiadians. Most likely, you are an Atlantean and Lemurian starseed because they are directly connected. Their lineage is Pleiadian. Most likely, you chose a body in this lifetime that has high amounts of Pleiadian DNA because you're meant to reactivate your roots within ancient Atlantis and Lemuria. Okay, what else did I want to say? So about 400,000, but all these children are being born right now to anchor back in the utopia, to anchor back in this oneness, this source, this consciousness, this 5D vibration back to the planet. They are the cosmic ones who said, screw this, I'm out of here. They're coming back because we are entering back into the age of Atlantis. But we can't make the same mistakes. And this is why I needed to bring this to you today. This is why I needed to wake you up. This is why I needed, and I'm getting chills, to remind all of you of your roots. And to remind you to forgive yourself for what happened. So think about it. What happened in the past? There was a division between Lemuria and Atlantis. There is currently many divisions between human beings. There was a rise of powers that were destructive. There was a rise of powers and the elite that were all service to self. What else happened? There was a rise and an explosion of technology that was basically their downfall. Think about 5G. What's happening right now? Think about nuclear missiles and nuclear bombs. What's happening right now? There is a rise of technology. You are all being forced to remember so that we can complete the trauma of the downfall of Atlantis. Globally, collectively, we need to go through this. Just like you individually need to go through a past lifetime trauma that you once experienced in order to complete that cycle, collectively on this planet, we need to go through all of the stages of the downfall of Atlantis so that we can complete that karma and we can once again rise to the age of Atlantis and Lemuria. Okay, so important, so important. Right now, this crystalline vibration is coming back. And one more thing I want to mention about the difference between Lemuria and Atlantis. Lemuria was traditionally, originally based on Palladian vibration, very divine feminine, very divine feminine. Atlantis, with its technology and development and growth and explosion and capabilities, was very divine masculine. We are now completing the division and the polarity of masculine and feminine to once again go back to crystalline, to once again let go of our chakra system. We no longer need that. This crystalline vibration is coming back. Atlantean and Lemurian starseeds are being born again. And you have all signed up to be here. I also want to mention too, very, very recently, and this is really incredible, Lemurians and Atlanteans have recently come together in the physical and in the astral and signed a peace treaty between Lemurians and Atlanteans. And they've basically said, let's put our differences aside. Let's heal the division from the past, and let's move forward on the prophecy of the planet. So I'm very proud of both sides of them. Okay. So, once again, we see the corruption in the government. Once again, we see the rise of negative technology. Once again, we are all seeing the division and the polarity. And there's only two directions for you, ancient Starseed, Atlanteans, and Lemurians. There's only two directions from here. One direction is that you're scared shitless. And I don't blame you for being so scared. When you see the corruption, when you see the technology, deep down in your soul, you are feeling all of the chips coming together, the same chips that came together to form the downfall of Atlantis. So half of you are scared because you're like, I've been here before. This is not my first rodeo, and I know how this is going to end. So your fear is not a surface level fear. Your fear is a deeply, and I'm getting chills, deeply rooted ancient Atlantean fear. And that's okay to have that fear. The other half of you are being called into action. The other half of you know, ooh, I'm getting chills again. The other half of you know that this is your time to act, that this is your time to rise, that this is no longer a time to let this go. This is a time to stand in your power. So I want to say to all of you, Lemurian and Atlantean starseeds, it's time to wake up and remember who you are. And through this remembrance, you activate your DNA and you align yourself to who you've always been. You've been playing it small because you're scared that it's all going to happen once again. You're scared to actually enjoy your powers because you're worried that they're going to be taken away from you, as they were in ancient Atlantis. So I want to say thank you for being here. Whether you've been here the whole time and you've forgotten who you are and you play a pretty good human game, I want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you for all of the cosmic souls who abandoned us after Atlantis and are finally now back, because we need each and every one of you and all of the crystalline children back here to once again raise the vibration, complete the mistakes of the past, and ascend to your highest vibration. And with that being said, I want to say thank you to everyone else who is here, who is ready and who's working on themselves, because that's what we need right now. And thank you to everyone for the super chats. Thank you to all my members. Once again, if you are interested in my shift masterclass going from 3rd dimension to 5th dimension, if you still feel stuck, please email me. Okay, I'm not going to go much into it. I'll give you all the details via email. And then the other thing is 50% off all of my merchandise. Let's just bring it into the 3D. Let's just call it a human thing, right? All my merchandise, 50% off for the next week. All right, guys? Love you all so much. Keep up the high vibes. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have so many downloads coming. I'm going to be talking about DMT, psychedelics. I'm going to be talking about reptilians, my experience with them, what's happening with them right now. So much information you guys need to know, and I'm helping you put the pieces together, but ultimately you have the pieces to begin with. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.